welcome to another edition of the Margin Max Minute. Today is session number 2 regarding cost reduction strategies. Today I want to talk about energy and energy reduction strategies that can help your business, whether it's a factory, a restaurant, or an accounting firm. All of these are somewhat familiar to us, but I think some of the stats are going to be interesting for you today. So let's get to it. First of all, one of the strategies to really improve is to simply turn equipment lights off. How many times have you left your business and there's a light on in maybe a general area that is fairly large in square footage, maybe 600 or 1,000 square feet is really typical in a lot of offices across the professional world that we all live and work in. Also, what's really interesting is just the fact that so many companies leave computer workstations on overnight when they really don't have to. If you take a look at that for a computer, we could assume, for instance, 10 kilowatt requirement per hour at somewhere between a half a penny or a penny per hour. And you're thinking, well, that's not that much. Well, if you run the numbers, it adds up to about $50 per workstation per year. How many workstations do you have? Companies, even if they're fairly small, let's say 20 office employees, all of a sudden you have a 4-figure number savings just by getting employees to turn off their computers at the end of the shift. Now, that would have to be weighed against the time and energy it takes to actually boot up those systems in the morning. It may cost you in labor. On the other hand, computers, believe it or not, have wear and tear. Even with today's systems that have so many less moving parts, they typically do have a cooling mechanism, even a fan that can run and that can limit that particular resource's life over time. So that might be almost like finding change in the couch for you. Let's take a look at the lights. How about in 1,000 square feet of office space, which isn't that big of an office for a small company? What does it cost to leave the lights on longer than we have to? Data suggests that it's about $1.34 per square foot on average across the United States to leave lights on. So over the course of 1,000-foot area, that's $1,340 a year. Now, what we're going to find is kind of a curve of use. In other words, that's going to be way up during the middle of the day. About now, there's a good graph coming on the screen where you can see we have peak energy demands at our offices too. But if you look at the tail of that graph, you can see it's about a third of what we have for the whole day. So if we turn off the lights and reduce the energy demand, if we can literally power down many of these systems, we could save up to $450 or $500 per 1,000 square feet per year. Again, many office buildings are much bigger than 1,000 square feet. And again, it doesn't take too big of an office complex to get into 4, even 5-figure savings in a year simply by making sure lights are turned off. Now let's get into some things you might be thinking about: solar and wind energy. Now, if we invest, there are vendors and mechanisms that have decent payback relative to our utilities. What's really interesting about utilities is they tend to be a bit monopolistic in terms of what we as small consumers can actually spend money on. That's quite interesting. And I know you, like me, probably have had significant energy increases in cost these last 2 years, maybe 2021 through your new bill in 2024. You've likely experienced at least double-digit percentage growth in that particular cost. So all of a sudden, solar and wind energy systems might be attractive to us, but my warning is they're typically not reliable. So you are really constrained by the amount of energy those systems can store for you if you have a downturn. Now, if they augment and get you off the grid for a while and you can afford that infrastructure, it's pretty easy math to run that particular justification. If you need help, let me know. Get on my website, the Fit Professional one, request a no-charge consult. We can take a look at that if you're having trouble justifying those. But those can be, wind and solar can be legitimate cost saving under the right context and the right circumstances. Another thing I want you to think about is the concept of friction and resistance. Friction and resistance cost money, cost time, generate waste, create rework. Now we have those even in service businesses again. Friction and resistance might not be your energy grid, but what you want to think of in particular is if you have old assets, it's likely you're going to have the opportunity to have a lower energy footprint based on better and more modern design and materials in those systems. It could be an oven at a particular restaurant. Again, we get back to workstations, lighting, all kinds of things. So I really encourage you to call up a professional in the energy space and do an assessment. There are companies out there that will do that. Some of them don't charge, and you'll be surprised at the savings you can have to help justify the upgrade of your equipment or fixtures in your facility. The last concept I want you to think about is the advent, really driven by machine learning and artificial intelligence, but that is the idea that sensors are becoming more and more useful and frankly able to connect themselves to smaller and smaller parts of your operation. So you likely can buy sensors to check rotations of shafts, movement of people, movement of customers. I mean, really, there is photo technology out there where artificial intelligence actually takes a look at every pixel and can come up with movement scenarios and find out ways to save energy. If you save motion, you generally save energy. So again, sensors applied to your organization, applied to your operation, applied to your manufacturing facility, applied to your vehicle. There's so many things out there that you can actually use sensors to really take a look at your energy footprint and really enhance that over time. So again, I hope that these very high level ideas in the area of energy efficiency programs will help you think about cost reductions and therefore increase your margins in 2024. Again, if you want some assistance, contact me, the Fit Professional One, at the fitprofessional1.com website. Request a free consultation and let's get to work. I would really appreciate it if you'd share this website, pass on the good news, and I wish you the very best week. Till next time, it's time to get to work.